Number 1. Momoland's Nancy and Nayoon. With the rare promotions of Momoland after the only release of Crowman's remake at the beginning of this year, fans are always looking forward to their public appearances and expecting to see the girls at their best. Unfortunately, the stylists didn't seem to wrap their heads around this idea so well, as in the recent attendance at AAA 2021, Nancy and Nayoon were made to wear extremely questionable clothes that were not only too revealing, but also implicitly sexualization prompted. To suit better with the neutral vibe of Crowmance, it kind of made sense for the Courties to style Nancy and Nayoon in some uncomfortable clothes, like the stiff plastic pink dress and the thin chromatic top. However, netizens just couldn't understand why they had to make both these designs become super sensual, that a part of the girls' chests were revealed. Since things like this already happened in the past, as some netizens referred to the time Momoland was made to wear extremely tight and short shorts without safety pants, everyone was even more furious to think of how the stylists were intentionally doing all of these awkward and vulgar cutouts to gain some cheap attention. Especially with the outfit of Nayoon, since her dress was not only too much on the chest part, but also had 2 deep splits, which ended up exposing her white safety pants both on the front and on the sides. Many said they could feel secondhand embarrassment just by looking at her. Some even said that though it would be an insult to the girls, but still, they couldn't help thinking back to the fits of prostitutes when looking at Nancy and Nayoon. However, most still hoped they wouldn't feel too bad, particularly because of sexualization comments, because they knew who was really the mastermind behind these vulgar fits. Number 2. IVE's on Yoojin. So despite the fact that all eyes were on IVE with their addicting debut with 11, the stylist still failed to live up to the public expectation by dressing Yoojin in this questionably provoking outfit. While she was just 18 this year, and actually still a minor as 2021 hasn't ended yet, the Courties just woke up one day and decided that the highlight of Yoojin's outfit would be a purple bralette. And though it's true that Knet sometimes made a fuss over nothing, this time they had all the right reasons to be triggered. Because not only the form of this design was exactly the same as a regular bra, from the strap, the cups, the underwires, to the side beams, but even the slightly silky and shiny materials were also alike. Frankly, this is a legit bra. As if that wasn't bad enough, the black top that Yoojin wore was also a bad choice, as it made her shoulders bulkier. Even the double belts used as corsets also counteracted, as it made her belly appear bigger, while in fact, Yoojin had a pretty fit and slender figure. Though people were trying to not be mean to a several days rookie as their music and preparation was obviously good, they still couldn't help criticizing the stylist's choice of Yoojin's outfit that day. Because dressing a minor in such a provocative outfit could easily make Yoojin a target of sexualization. They also believed Yoojin must have been quite annoyed when being made to wear that outfit, so they could only hope she wouldn't get too upset, especially when Starship was probably trying to use her as bait for public attention. Number 3. Itzy. Ever since the promotion of Loco, Itzy seemingly has been caught up in many questionable fashion moments, from their weekly music stages to some important events like the one of Burberry. Since this brand is the house to many iconic designs and extremely posh accessories, many fans expected Itzy would appear stunning at the event and take all of the spotlight. However, as with high expectations comes great disappointment, they were terribly let down when seeing all the girls dressing in super boring and probably even ridiculous outfits for the occasion that took a significant emphasis on the sense of fashion. Despite being a Gen 4 girl group, which basically means that all the girls are in their early 20s, and Yuna's actually only 18 this year, the Courties somehow made them look like some mid-aged women, in super long, loose black trench coats. What's even worse is that while Yuna used to receive lots of praises for her admirable body proportion, the jumbling layers of clothes mixed under the ankle-length coat made her look so ordinary that, had it not been for her gorgeous face, people would mistake her with any ordinary person walking by. Then we have Yeji. Well, apparently the theme of this event was all about praising the mysterious black shade, but despite the fact that there were many ways to dress fancy in black, the Courties still made her look as if she was going to a funeral, with a huge black cape coat, which looked more like an ancient witch cape, redesigned by incorporating it to a modern blazer. From the side, netizens also noticed how the stylist made the look even worse with the tight, low-tied hairstyle that exposed Yechi's hair loss condition that had been going on for quite some time, due to the extremely bleached and dyed hair. Then, when it came to Ruchin, the stylist went for the complete opposite approach, by not making her as basic and dull like Yuna and Yechi, because at the end of the day, she's the center and the face of Itzy. So that means they did super well with their clothes, right? Well, not really. Somehow, the stylist still managed to fail one way or another. Instead of making Ruchin's hairstyle more in sync and harmonious with such an exotic and out-of-this-world design of Burberry, they thought it would be a good idea to straighten her layered bob hair. Probably they were thinking because the dress was full of leather fringes, Making her layered hair mimic the fringes look would create a harmonious look. However, that turned out to not be a good idea because, firstly, had it been, Ruchin wouldn't be on the list now. And secondly, because of such a scanty hairstyle and the underwhelming use of accessories to blow in some of Ruchin's individuality, the whole look made her more similar to Lady Gaga, rather than a K-pop idol. As if that wasn't bad enough, the Cordies didn't even seem to bother giving Ruchin a fitting beforehand, to help the design fit her figure better. You see the lengths of the sleeves? They literally covered her whole hands, and made the arms, funnily, disproportionately long compared to her body. Another detail that people believed clearly showed the lack of Itzy stylists' efforts in pleasing fashion sense was how they picked the very same boots to style all the members. According to them, it was kinda boring to see how the Cordies were playing safe at unnecessary times like this, but then went way too extra for some others. And apparently, by going too extra for some others, it would be such a miss to not refer to the time Itzy appeared at the Louis Vuitton in these irrelevant and cheesy looks. Besides the fact that the Cordies failed to make these girls appear like a group through the contrasting and irrelevant choice of colors, netizens believe they should have taken into consideration more about other factors like materials, shades, and the design, because it became quite obvious that Yuna and Leah's outfits didn't look harmonious. Actually, the whole group appeared to be quite outdated, with Yuna wearing a cropped short-sleeve jacket that belonged to summer 2008 and a cheesy ruffled pink skirt, Leah wearing almost the same design but in dark purple. Yeji couldn't look any more irrelevant with a Chinese-inspired top and weird belly cutout. People also saw how awkward the Cordies styled Yeji, because while her upper image was all about that delicate vibe of the mainland, the lower styling just ruined it all with the punky leather trousers and combat boots. For Chaeyoung and Ruchin, somehow the stylist still went wrong with a basic palette of black and white, distorting the perfect figures of the girls, making them look way shorter than usual with those loose and bulky outfits. A fan even made a pretty sharp point, saying that the gorgeous visuals of Itzy indeed saved their fits a lot, because when she tried to cover their faces and just focus on the clothes, she could see even clearer how outdated and amateur the stylings were. They were so bad that it was actually impossible for her to tell these were all designer clothes from Louis Vuitton, and were actually worn by some top celebrities of K-pop. So, do you think these outfits were indeed fashion disasters? Or were people overreacting? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting K-pop content. Thank you for watching.